do we even begin as millennial parents, young parents, parents who are in these walls? We on social media, we plugged in to this life, we hip and all the rest of it. How do we then begin to have a conversation about our teenage kids and young adolescent kids about bullying, number one, how to deal with it if you're a victim of bullying. Secondly, and I think most importantly, that's always missing from the conversation, if you are a bully and if you are a parent perpetuating the behavior of bullying, why are you surprised that your child is going to school and bullying? Because they see you do it every Sunday under the banner of Black Twitter.
Yes.
Like, they see you pass snide comments in the kitchen and they hear those conversations where you are dragging the neighbor or dragging sis man. So how do you self-correct so that you can correct your kids? And we thought it'd be interesting to get in some experts, of course, who've been doing some incredible work around this conversation. And we have Thabo Ndlovu joining us right now in studio. And he's a school engagement officer with Columba Leadership. And you worked with Thutolisedi Senior Secondary School in Vosloorus. And you guys had some really fantastic results from the work that you did. And we've got on the line Ndlovu as well, who's an educator out at the school. Good afternoon, Ndlovu.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So first question, I guess, for you, Thabo. Is it in our imagination, or has bullying really just become this monstrous beast that is out of control?
I think it has. Thank you very much for having us.
If you can pull the mic closer to you, there we go. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I think it has, Bridget, in a very, very concerning way, I have to say. I think as you were saying earlier on, that it also it's also one of the reasons why kids would miss school, because they're being bullied, and so it has really so many detrimental sort of effects, and to young people's lives especially. And I think it becomes even more concerning when it happens to young kids who are still at school, because at that time they're supposed to be focusing at school. They don't have to be dealing with all these, cyberbullying issues. So it really has, in a big way, become some sort of, prevalence within our, not just in our country, but it's a worldwide,
phenomenon. Yeah. And I think what's exacerbated it is the fact that we are now plugged in, literally.
Yes.
Because you can log on anonymously on Twitter, or even if you have a profile and a handle and a face, I don't know you. And I don't know if you're 13 or 30.
Exactly.
But I will say my piece and you will receive it because I've tagged you.
Exactly. And I think that's where the trick is, because normally on social media, sometimes other people are not who they are on their profile picture.
Yeah.
You just accept a friend request only to find that you're opening yourself up to this whole cyberbullying thing. I mean, people do it in so many different ways, and that's how, these, sort of bullies or, all these people who are perpetrating this thing have become so smart in a way that the more that social media sort of advances in terms of technology and other things, they've sort of become to know how to maneuver around it and use it against people. I mean, it's nowadays it's as easy as someone throwing a comment on your status. You open the comment, it's cyberbullying.
Yeah, so very true. Join the conversation, if you please, and we welcome you to on 08600000959. Maybe if your child has been a victim of bullying, whether it's physical, verbal, or cyber, or maybe if you think that your child displays tendencies of being a bully, or you display tendencies of bully, or you've been a bully, because like we're saying, this is not something that it's exclusive to young kids. We are a society that is perpetuating and modeling this behavior. So we'd love to hear from you. I see you, Mandisa, in Bedford View. I will definitely get to you. That number is 08600000959. So Ndlovu is an educator at the Thutolisedi Senior Secondary School in Vosloorus, where Thabo and his team came in and helped curb and correct this bullying behavior. Ndlovu, what was the telltale signs? Because if I understand it, there was a WhatsApp group that was formed. And in this WhatsApp group, it was a community of bullies, and the bullies would use this platform to sort of, repeat and perpetuate and fuel their bullying ways.
Yes, it feels bad because it was like young girls or young future women that they were insulting each other on a social media. So that's how we find. Then the learners that are in a Columba group, they show us those messages. Then me and my colleague Palisa, so we decided to do something about that.
Now, when the learners showed you the messages, were they coming to you from a point of, Miss Oli, there's this group that's existing and I don't want to be a part of it anymore because it's become so malicious? Or were they showing you it because they were the victims of being bullied?
They were showing it because I think some of their classmates, they were there.
Okay.
So they were feeling the pain while they are seeing their classmates crying every day. So it touches them. They needed someone that could help learners that are being bullied in a school. Because some of the learners, I think one of girls, she almost committed suicide because of that social media page.
Wow. And I think that's the thing that people don't realize, right, Thabo? Like, people don't realize the taunting.
Exactly.
I remember speaking to Unati Ngai at this past Miss South Africa run, and she had been trolled so much on Twitter that she started seeking counseling because she was bullied. A full-grown woman in her mid-30s, bullied to a point where she couldn't handle it anymore.
Sure. I think that's what happens as well to the victims. I think you end up, the more you get trolled on social media, you somewhat kind of end up believing it. Want to believe what people are saying about you. And I think it gets to that point where now you're like, okay, maybe I should start seeking counseling because maybe there's something about me that I don't realize or that I don't know that people are seeing from me, or with me, and maybe I need help on,
Wowza. Mandisa, who's called in, let's get your opinion. Mandisa?
Hi, Bridget, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm just trying to be strong and not to cry, but this is just so painful. My daughter is 5 and she has problems with her eyes. You know that white part is mostly brown. So when she goes to daycare, people will bully her and they make fun of her, like the kids and stuff like that.
Wow.
Even now at home at times, she does not want to play outside because most of the kids will be making fun of her, like calling her brown eyes or whatever, all these other funny names. So now it's come to a point where most of the time she wants to stay indoors and she doesn't want to go to daycare anymore. And she's in grade 8, about to start school next year.
Wow.
So it's just one of those things that she's just scared of as to what's going to happen when she's in a bigger environment and how are these kids going to treat her. And she's going to a specialist. And also I find that with me as well. When I'm traveling with her, like adults will be asking me, why are her eyes so brown and stuff like that?
Wow.
Like they make you as a parent that's not concerned about your child's health and that you're doing nothing about it. And I keep on having to have like, what do you call this? To tell these people that, no, I'm taking her to a specialist. It's something that I can't do. Like, it's an allergy reaction, but apparently she'll outgrow it. But I just feel like I get bullied all the time and she gets bullied all the time. And I just have to, shield her all the time, just to give her all that love so that I can cover for all these people that are just hating her all the time.
So Mandisa, I mean, I can hear obviously the pain in your voice right now. How do you as a mom, because I can't even fathom at 5 years old, there's teasing that's age appropriate and that banter and the playfulness. But when it crosses a line to a point where your child can't go to creche essentially at 5 years old because toddlers are bullying each other. So how do you as a mom even begin to try and give her those tools to cope with that?
I keep on telling her that, you know what, mommy loves you so much. And Granny has told you that your daddy also was like this when he was young and you're going to outgrow it. But you know that I don't tease you. None of us at home tease you. We love you regardless of everything. So when they start teasing you, just tell them that, you know what, my mommy loves me regardless of that. So it's just one of those things that I just have to reaffirm her each and every day that she mustn't stress about it. But it gets to a point where sometimes, like in the morning, she'll just decide that I don't want to go. And I just have to comfort her in the morning and just say, it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Mandisa, I wish I had the words to help you out of this situation, but I think she's taking the right steps as a mom. That positive reinforcement, also bringing the school aware, aware of it, or making the school aware of it, and maybe getting the parents of the class even involved. Mandisa, thank you so much for calling and for sharing, and all the best to you and your daughter. Yeah.
Thanks, Bridget.
Alrighty. Because I think maybe that's also the other link, is to get the parents of the bullies involved in the dialogue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But maybe the other question is, how do parents know that my child is being a bully towards other kids? But I like what Mandisa is doing. She's moving in the right direction, because I believe that once kids don't get love from home, they go and look for it outside. So what Mandisa is doing is showing, her daughter that I love you, mommy loves you, daddy loves you, but this is going to be okay. So she knows at the end of it all that I might be, bullied around, but I know that at the end of the day, at home, I get what I,
that positive reinforcement.
Yes,
It is Kaya FM, the home of the Afropolitan. Oli, if you can just keep holding on the line for us, let's take a quick musical break. We welcome your calls on this as a parent, as an aunt, as an uncle. Do give us a call on 086 0000959. We want to know, maybe, do you consider yourself a bully? Like, do you go, I'll share a story with you and I made it click that, wait, maybe my behavior is not right. Because sometimes you're not aware of it.
Exactly.
But share your stories and opinions with us on 086 0000959, and find us on Twitter at Kaya FM Music, hashtag Kaya Lunchtime. We are running a poll right now. Actually, do you consider yourself a cyber bully?
Hello, 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 hey, hello, 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 hello.
95.9 Kaya FM.
It is indeed the B-side with myself, Bridget Masinga, hanging out in studio with Thabo Ndlovu, and holding on the line Ndlovu, who is the educator at Tutolisedi Senior Secondary School in Vosloorus. And Thabo, of course, is joining us as a representative of Columba Leadership. We got on the line Jacob from Randburg, and what I love about Jacob, he called in because I think at the beginning we spoke about identifying whether or not your child is a bully, and how easy is that for parents to even do, and what do you do to then curb that behavior and correct that behavior. And Jacob, you calling us and you saying that you think that your son is actually bullying other kids.
Yes, definitely. You see, this is very tricky, because this is how kids behave. When they are with you, they will behave, good in front of their parents. And according to friends at school, they change on their behaviors, and they kind of the pressure, the peer pressure they get from school. And my son is in grade R also, and I've listened to the previous caller, and this is very sad. It's not a nice thing at all. But now you see, I don't know, but I think even teachers at school must be trained on how to deal with this thing, because what they will do most of the time is they will call you to school and they will report this matter to you. But now when you are with your child, they don't do that.
So,
they don't do that,
Jacob,
and it's tricky.
I presume you've already been alerted to this by your child's school, right? Or people in the extended
daycare. I would say daycare. He used to go to crash. But now he's on grade R at school. They haven't called me yet.
Okay. So what steps did you take after you were alert? And we were talking about this off air, that, I completely understand that kids can be one thing at home and they can be a completely different thing in the streets. Yes. But what steps did you then take as a parent when you were alerted by his kindergarten that there could be this bullying behavior?
You see, most of what I would do is about my son, he loves listening. Okay, when you sit him down and you kind of create a picture and tell him how bad this is, he kind of understand it. So my wife used to sit him down and he will tell him, and the most thing that I've used was I promised him when he behaves, he gets rewarded. That's the technique I used. So I would buy whatever thing that he likes. So I will ask him, how did he do at school? I will ask the teacher also, how did he do today? And then if he did good, then he would get maybe a chocolate, maybe an ice cream or whatever.
I got you.
And I see that helping out a lot. But I don't know if it's enough, because I don't want it to carry on to middle school, to high school, to college.
It
should stop now while he is young. It's a bad thing. It shouldn't happen to anyone.
I got you. Thank you for sharing, Jacob. Let's bring Oli back on the line. And I think for me, the rewarding good behavior as a method to correcting, I don't know, it can be a double-edged sword, but I don't judge parents, because I know all parents do the best they can at any given moment in time. But I almost think sometimes it just becomes a negative motivation, because you're not choosing the correct choice or correct path, because it's innate in you. You're doing it because there's a reward at the end of the day. So it's almost disingenuous to some degree, you know.
Sure.
I don't know. Oli, in terms of your school out at Tutolisedi Senior Secondary School in Vosloorus, have you seen great improvements since Columbia leadership came and worked with the WhatsApp group?
Yes, I do see a lot of improvement, because I can relate to the story of Umandisa, because we had once a learner that was being bullied about her eye. They were telling her that her eye is looking the other side around. So after we had that silent protest, that girl, she came to us, because there was also a post that says, beauty outside, it is not important. What is inside you, it is more important. And look at your mirror. Love yourself. Then you can see that you are beautiful. Don't take things that are being said by other people, because people, they will never appreciate who you are. So you have to start by appreciating yourself. So that thing, it's really helped a lot, because most of the learners, they did come to us and thanking us.
Fantastic.
About this.
Fantastic. Oli Ndlovu, thank you so much for joining us. And Oli is, what have I done? Oli is a teacher out at Lisedi Primary School. I think, Ayoba, I did something here with your telephone. But maybe let's continue our conversation with Thabo. So Thabo, what do we do? What are the rules as parents?
I think it's I think all it takes at the present moment, because you can read any source. There hasn't been that one sort of I don't know, successful measure in terms of curbing this whole bullying thing. I think the some of the common things that are usually mentioned would be parents sort of looking at try and
continue
and being I think one of the things that the most common things that tell you that parents need to sort of monitor their kids' devices in terms of what it is that they get to do with their cell phones, because nowadays we live in a world where every young person's got a smartphone, and that's where cyberbullying is happening. And so I think the only corrective sort of measure that I can attest to at the moment is that one of speaking to your kids. Speak to your kids about the detrimental effects of bullying, and why is bullying wrong, and why is it that young people shouldn't bully others. And I think we also need to take it to a point where you tell your kid to say, don't do something that that you wouldn't want to be done to you. I think try and personalize it. Make your kid, show your kid that if you do this, imagine if this was done to you, how would you feel?
What do you think was most effective at Lisedi?
At Lisedi, what we did as Columba, because at Columba leadership, what we do is that we activate young people. We work with young people from grade 10. So what we do is we have a 6-day residential academy where we take them out for 6 days to sort of activate them in terms of the 6 values that Columba is helping young people with. The one is awareness. The second one is focus. The other one is creativity, perseverance, integrity, and the value of service. So with those 6 values combined, we strongly believe that young people can be, are at a better place to sort of conquer the world, if I may put it like that. But to be able to, deal with the daily pressures of life, to navigate life and be able to maneuver smoothly. So what we did was we took them out last year in July. They went to that six-day residential academy. And then when they came back, because what we do is that our programs got like, it's divided into 3 phases. The one is community entry. The second one is activation. The third one is group mobilization and group mobilization and, I forgot the word. But what we do is that in the first phase, would have like different engagements with like the school SMT, the principal, the educators, and the learners themselves. And then there'll be that selection of those 12 learners. And then they go for activation. Activation is that 6-day residential academy. It's like a camp. So they go out, and we have a department called faculty, which comprises of facilitators. Those are the people that facilitate the program at activation phase. And then at group mobilization and support, this is the part where I come in as school engagement, which is the most crucial part, because now they've been activated. Here are these 12 young people who've gone through the 6-day residential academy, and I think one of the activities that they do at the academy is to sort of identify challenges that are happening at their schools, and bullying also happened to be one of them with regards to Delisedi. So when they came back, then they wanted to deal with that.
Okay.
So when they came back, then they started planning upon it, and I think with the help of Chloe and the other teacher who just left the school, then that sort of support, because we also speak about adult youth partnership. You know, when young people are being supported by, you know, the adults at the school, they're able to do a whole lot more.
Let's jump in here with Bulelwa quickly before we run out of time. Hey Bulelwa. Bulelwa, how are you?
Yeah, good on you.
I'm good, thank you.
Bridget, I've got my nephew. He's 10 years old. He was bullied at the soccer practice, and whenever he reported to the coach, he always told him that he's too soft. He's more like a mama's boy.
The coach said this?
Yes.
How old's your nephew? Not that it matters in terms of the adult response.
Yeah, he's 10 years old.
Wow.
Because he's normally go there after school and sometimes on weekends. So he basically stopped going to the practice. He's no longer playing soccer. Wow. And my worry is he's so good at it to a point where he wanted to be a soccer player when growing up. Up until my brother intervened and he went to the coach, and he said he thought it was just a minor thing and not a serious thing.
Wow. That was the whole response of an adult.
Yes.
Who's been tasked to look after children.
Yeah. So I think they should really look at this, because kids end up stopping playing games, soccer and whatnot, and then they will resort to drugs, because now you're no longer doing what you love because you're scared of other kids because of the bullying.
And I mean, and not even to take it as far as drugs, but that isolation from your community and you know, breeding that insecurity about yourself. It's very disheartening, and it's very disturbing that a grown-up who's tasked with essentially providing secondary care for children would conduct themselves in such a manner. And the sad part is it happens more frequently than not, which is the sad part. Bulelwa, thank you so much for sharing, and I do hope that everything comes right with your nephew. And I think, you know, I've said it 2 or 3 times, but I'm going to say it again. I think it comes with your self-awareness as an adult in any situation. You know, and I told the story off air. I don't think I told it on air, right? My brain can't register what happened on and off air anymore. I told the story off air about how when I started, and very quickly, when I started watching OPW and Oh Perfect Wedding, and then I simultaneously started watching it via Black Twitter, and all that fodder that happens on a Sunday, and the trolling and the nastiness, and everyone's trying to outwit themselves in 140 characters. And I remember a few weeks in, because then I also started engaging, like, oh my God, did she wear this? And did he say this? I literally stopped and had a moment to myself. And I said, you know what, Bridget, you are trashing on people's dreams. People work very hard in order to afford this wedding. For them, this is the pinnacle. This is the dream. This is the definition of a perfect wedding. That you are just trashing left, right, and center. And I stopped. I stopped right there and there.
I think we all need to come to that point, because I think when it starts, especially with Black Twitter, when it starts in the name of being funny.
Yes.
You know, you want to be, you know, sort of
likes.
As a
they do it for likes
person.
and retweets.
Yes. You know, to say I'm the funniest one, I need more followers and whatnot. You know, it starts that way, but then it progresses to that point where now you're bullying other people.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't know how to say this best, but in terms of being a bully and being judgmental, you see, there's a thin line there. You know, I mean, there are people who get paid to make fun of other people, you know, but then there's also bullies at the same time, you know?
Yeah. And I guess the moral is also, if you're not a comedian, as Kumba would say, stick to your lane. Thabo, thank you so much. It's food for thought, definitely. And I think this is one of those conversations that will continue to grow, because we live in a world of social media as well, which has just magnified things. But I think the takeaway from all of us is positive reinforcement, especially where you're dealing with young kids. The scary part for me was all of our callers came from a perspective of talking about children that were really young. And that is the scariest, because you don't want a 4 or 5 year old already having self-doubt issues, identity issues, you know, already isolated from their peers at kindergarten ages.
And I think what the Tutoli Sedi learners did best was to apply the value of awareness, because the value of awareness with us at Columba, it speaks about being aware of yourself, people around you, and the environment around you. I think once one is able to be aware of who they are, where they come from, where they are at right now, and what is the focus, what's important, and where am I going as a person, I think it becomes easier, because you don't, you know, want to do all these destructive things and, you know, trolling at people and all these things. So what those learners at Tutoli said it did was to apply the value of awareness and creativity as well, you know, to say, how do we, you know,
find other ways. I got you. It is 2 minutes to the news, your 2 o'clock news coming up. And then on the other side of this, we kick off Africa Music Tuesday. Always quite a treat for the last hour of the show. Thabo, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bridget.
Longer days and shorter nights, darker shades and brighter lights.
Buckle up and hold on tight. It's time for Kaya Summer Days.
Enjoy a series of scintillating Sound Supreme picnics.
Break a sweat and get fit with our pop-up gym phenomenon.
Expand your horizon with our blissful book clubs.
It's the season of sensational summer activities at the station of the year under the blazing summer sun.
Make Kaya Summer Days priority number 1.
Get a massive 40 gigs data every month for $2.99 on a 24-month My MTN Choice 10 gig contract. That's 20 gigs anytime data and 20 gigs night express data for 24 months. And for 50 Rand more per month, get a ShareLink MW40 LTE router. Plus, you'll get 3-month subscription to Showmax for all your favorite movies and series on us. Sign up or upgrade at an MTN store today.
Come over to the bright side with the Boza network that gives you more. T's and C's apply. MTN, everywhere you go.